downtime is time where children do what they choose to do, and they do it without an end goal in mind. So downtime is kicking a ball around the backyard with your friends compared to going to soccer practice or soccer clinic where the outcome is learning technique, or playing a soccer game where the outcome and the focus is on winning. And so it could be coming home from school and playing with Lego. Or when we debunk all the hysteria about screen time, our girls have downtime playing Roblox. So they're on FaceTime with their friends, they play Roblox and they create this fantasy world, and they're role playing, they're having imagination games. And what happens when they're in unstructured play or downtime is that their brain goes into flow. And what flow does, it's like when your computer crashes or your phone's unresponsive and you have to turn it off and turn it back on again. That's what flow does to your children's brain. And it is absolutely critical for their mental health. It is also critical for their concentration and ability to learn. It's critical for them to also find purpose and meaning in life. Flow and downtime is where they learn to do things because it's fun and it's because of who they are, not because there's some learning objective or measurement.
It's pure play. And like, you can go back to the psychologists in the 1950s talking about this, about the guy called Donald Winnicott talking about the importance of play. And that's exactly what he meant, not sort of, and you have to be careful with this because there's a whole lot of people who go, oh yeah, that's play, that's where children learn.
Flashcards are fun.
So let's go and engineer a whole lot of activities, and we'll then put play around it and pretend that it's all play. No, it's not. That's still a structured activity. We're not really allowing kids to actually just be kids and actually have that downtime where they create, they lead. Obviously, they're sitting quiet in their bedroom. You're not allowed to do that. That's what their thing is, and maybe hold that. But if they're doing something that's safe, that's fine, that you're okay with, you've set all the settings on Roblox, and you've got the security settings, you've got them talking on via chat on another platform to their little friend. Watching our daughters do this, I cannot tell you, it's fantastic because they are actually, and particularly when lockdown and COVID and all that. But even out of that, they're spending time with those kids in those forums, and they get lost. The game just fades into the background. It becomes just a thing, and the conversation and what's going on in the mind is so incredible because they don't care how you're supposed to play that game. They're just doing what they do, and they're creating whole scenarios, and they're talking out loud. And also, the one thing we've noticed recently is that they read a lot. Because to actually play these games,
not reading, get them on Roblox.
And they're not aware that they're actually reading.
So the other crucial thing about play is that your child controls how they spend the time. So one of the reasons for poor mental health, anxiety and depression is feeling like you don't have control in your life. And kids don't have a lot of control in their life. They go to school and everything at school is controlled and there's rules and it's being monitored, and then they go to after school activity and that there's rules and that's controlled, and then they get home and they've got to do homework and then blah, 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 blah. And some kids can have not a moment in their day where they have controlled how they're going to spend their time. So having play and giving them a sense of control in their life has so many benefits.
And the key here is autonomy. I'll cite another study, 1970s. There's a guy called Michael Marmot in the UK. He goes and does what's called the Whitehall studies. He goes to the British bureaucracy, the government, and he looks at who lives the longest, who has the best health. He's interested in their health. And he looks at people at the top of the civil service, people earning, hundreds of thousands of pounds a year, and those right at the bottom, learning junior clerks, earning about £15,000 or £10,000 or whatever it was then. And he discovers that the people who have the best health are the people, not the richest people, not necessarily the poorest, not the people in the middle, the people who have the most control over their working day. They can decide when they do stuff. The people who have the worst health, doesn't matter whether they're the top, the richest or the poorest, they have the worst. If you've got no control, you have terrible health. And so we know this, and we've known this since the 1970s, but we keep stacking, we kept pushing kids into these boot camps and, and not giving them any control over their lives. And a lot of kids just don't have any time where they get to know themselves. So we know how important this is, both to mental health and physical health.
So be brave enough to fearlessly schedule downtime in your family schedule, and you will reap the benefits. Your whole family will, because we were those crazy parents too. Drove, our week was so busy because we thought that that's what good parenting was, going from one activity to the next.
We did it for years too.
Yeah, and then we stopped. So our girls are allowed to do one thing, just one, and the rest of the time we schedule play and we defend that time because we know how important it is. And our life is just so much calmer too, not just the girls. It makes life a lot easier. It's also a lot cheaper. It's an added bonus as well.
So budget tip too.
Yeah.